Hey guys, this is Arun,
And this is Abby.
and welcome back to a brand new episode of Fill Your Pockets. Today's episode, Friday the 13th, Spooky Friday. Hopefully, we can win you guys some money. But before we do that, let's go over the game and the play of yesterday. We did the Chicago White Sox straight money line. If you followed our Instagram page, and it hit. It was a sweater versus the Yankees. Um, right now for the season, 14 and 10. But getting back to this game, it looked like the Yankees were gonna pull this one. Especially in that eighth inning. I believe who hit that
Tim Anderson.
Stan hit that
Oh, yeah,
homer.
took the lead.
Yeah, it
Yes.
took that lead 8-7. And as White Sox bettors, we thought it was kind of over at that point, but it's baseball, bottom of the ninth. They came back, scored a run, and they won the game. They scored 2 runs actually in that ninth inning. So Abhishek quickly recap his game from yesterday. For the season, we're 14 and 10, so we're looking good. And let's bounce back, use that yesterday's momentum, and win some plays for today.
Oh yes, Arun, that was great. And
Yeah.
just to add, we had a parlay yesterday, and the other game was the Giants. That game was not even close. 7-0.
Yep.
Game ended in the fourth inning. Could have went to sleep after that. I hope you did because you didn't need to worry about it. Two-game parlay we had yesterday. Obviously, the first game, as Arun mentioned, the White Sox. Man, what a game! Field of Dreams game, national TV game. Big game for the Yankees because they're obviously trying to fight for a playoff spot. They're 2.5 games behind the Red Sox. The White Sox don't gotta worry about shit. They're going to the playoffs. They're going to win the division, no doubt about it. They're the most talented team in their division. Just to recap quickly, White Sox were down 3-1. Impressive. The Yankees were fighting 3-1. Aaron Judge had the 3-run homer, and it was looking good for the Yankees. The White Sox come back, take advantage of Andrew Heaney, who is awful. He's been awful for the Yankees. He's been awful for the Angels. He's been awful, awful, awful. And the White Sox come back, make it 7-4. I thought it was over right there. And then the ninth inning, as Arun mentioned, I couldn't believe it. I was shook. Judge hits a 2-run homer. I'm like, okay, it's 6-7. One out. That's all you need, Hendricks. You're a closer. You're one of the best closers. You got paid $50 million. Come on, man. And then he walks Joey Gallo, and then Stanton makes his money's worth. He smashes that shit out the park, or whatever you want to call it, cornfields, and they take the lead. And I'll tell you right now, I was shook. I was shook for multiple reasons. I'm like, bro, this can't happen. But it is what it is, as Arun mentioned, baseball. But then you have to finish the game. The ninth inning, no Chapman, no whoever else. Loizaga has been used a lot. Chad Green pitched 30 pitches yesterday. Zach Brin comes in, gets one out, walks the catcher. Tim Anderson, first pitch, bye-bye. My man. Tim Anderson, one of my favorite players. He got swag to his game. He could play in the NBA. He could play in the NFL. He got that type of swag. Man, first pitch, he knew it. He strutted on him, and he walked it off. What a moment for him. His second walk-off of his career. And the last thing he said was, it's over. And he was right. Yankees lose. White Sox win. Huge loss for the Yankees. And then quickly over the second game of our parlay was the Rockies Giants. Logan Webb, what can we say? I've been saying this. This guy's so underrated. He's been dominating. His dominance continued. 6 innings, 0 runs allowed. Marquez for the Rockies once again struggled. The Giants have his number. Marquez has been fantastic the whole season. Against the Giants, it's just been awful. 7 runs in 4 innings, 6 runs in the fourth inning itself. The game was over right there. The Rockies were not coming back. And the Giants ended up winning and giving us our victory for the night.
Yep.
Parlay hit plus
33.
133 odds, if I'm not mistaken, which is more than enough for me. I hope it was more than enough for you guys. And that's why we're going to continue today.
All right, so let's get this show on the road. 14 and 10 for the season, and hopefully we can win some plays today. All right, so today we're gonna be previewing 4 games. First game of the slate, we have the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Right now, Milwaukee is leading the season series 12-4. Um, the odds just changed on me, so okay. Milwaukee Brewers. minus 210 right now on DraftKings. The line opened up at minus 180, so it is moving. Pittsburgh Pirates plus 175 on DraftKings. Opened up at plus 155. Abhishek, our first game. Milwaukee taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Who you got?
We've been going over Brewers Pirates for a minute now.
Yeah, I
This
feel like
one,
we do that every day.
this series. I think it's the third time their series we went over this, but
Mhm.
there's a reason why. One team keeps winning, one team keeps losing, and the Brewers. Listen, they're coming off a sweep of the Cubs, 4-0, phenomenal against the division rivals. Back-to-back games scoring 10 plus runs against the Cubs. So they're hot right now. They're 38-19 on the road. I think that's the best record in baseball on the road, if I'm not mistaken. Now we get to the pitching matchup for the Brewers. Brent Anderson. He's now one of the more known pitchers for the Brewers, but don't let that fool you. He's been fantastic. In his last 7 starts, he's given up less than 2 runs per game. His ERA is a 1.85. He has started for the Brewers this season 2 times against the Pirates, and he's given up 1 run in 13 innings. That is straight dominance. He's done it on the road. He's done it at home. It don't matter. He could play in freaking Pluto for all he cares. He has the Pirates number. Now we get to the Pirates. They're 1-9 in their last 10 games. They're just trying to get to the end of this goddamn season so they can go home and revamp their plan, get to next season, get to training camp, whatever the hell they got to do to get fixed because their season is over. 1-9, as I mentioned, the last 10 games. They've lost 8 straight games. 7-23 versus lefties. Brent Anderson is a lefty. And then we get to the pitching matchup. Mitch Keller, their young prospect for the Pirates. In his last 3 starts, he's given up 4 runs in all of them. In each of the last 3 starts, he's given up 4 runs in each of those starts. Man, I feel bad for this team because usually when you're a young team, you're a rebuilding team. You have some rebuilding pieces. You have like bright spots. For this season, I see no bright spots. None of these pitchers they have right now look like they have a future going forward. Obviously, I'm not trying to make it dull on the Pirates fans out there, but for man, y'all looking for mercy. Y'all let's try and have the season end, and you're almost there. You got 6 more weeks around, 6, 7 more weeks. But for right now, we'll take advantage. Minus 190 odds is kind of heavy. Rune mentioned it was 180. Now it's
Mhm.
210. We will find a way to pick this game because we will pick this game, and the Brewers will win this game.
All right. So, so we're very confident in the Brewers today. Moving on to the second game of the slate, we have the Baltimore Orioles taking on the Boston Red Sox. Right now, the Red Sox are leading the season series 6-4. The line for this matchup has moved as well, but Baltimore Orioles opened up at plus 180. Right now, they're sitting at plus 200. Red Sox minus 250 on DraftKings. 7 o'clock game. Abhishek, second game of the night. Orioles versus Red Sox.
The
Who you got?
Boston Red Sox right now are going to the schedule makers, wherever they are, wherever they hide behind their computers, and they are kissing, making out, having sex with them because this couldn't have come at a better time for this team. The Boston Red Sox have been struggling, and I'd say understatement since the All-Star break, but they are holding on for dear life with that wild card spot. They're 2.5 games ahead of the Yankees and Blue Jays. So right now, 2.5 game lead is not that much, and they play the Yankees next week. So that is going to be a huge series. So then we get to the pitching matchup for today. Nick Pivetta, who has been one of their best pitchers, if not their most consistent pitcher this season. He's won both starts versus Baltimore this season. He's pitched against them twice. This will be his 3rd start against them. And not just that, in his career, he has never lost to Baltimore. So he has got their number, and he loves pitching against Baltimore at home. Obviously, the Boston Red Sox are one of the best home teams in baseball. And if we just look at it, the Boston Red Sox offense, it's not even close. Their offense is way better than the Orioles. Pitching matchup today, Nick Pivetta versus Watkins, not even close. And in a way, the fact that the 2 games that they just played prior against the Rays were both blowouts. The Red Sox blew them out, and then they got blown out by the Rays. That kind of favored them for this series because the bullpen got rested. they didn't have to use any big names out there from the relief pitching. So just in case if something happens to Pavetta, if something doesn't happen right, they have guys that can come in and save the day if necessary. We get to the Baltimore Orioles, bro. The Orioles and Pittsburgh Pirates are fighting for who's going to be worse. They definitely got some type of bet going on that you think you guys suck, we suck more because they just lost 8 straight. They're also 1-9 in their last 10. So these dudes don't even know what a victory smells like. Like, it's far in between. Watkins, their pitcher, he started off his career with this team very well, but then his last 3 starts, maybe because people got more film on him, people can see his tape, people can see his pitches now better. In his last 3 starts, they've all been losses, and he's given up 4 runs, 4 runs, 5 runs. All I can say is the Red Sox have to sweep this series. They can't afford to lose a single game in this series. They know what's at stake. I understand this is not the NBA. This is not football where you can somewhat try harder. It doesn't matter. They know what's at stake. They have to beat this team. They have to sweep this team. I feel they will.
All right, so leaning towards the Boston Red Sox for today against the Baltimore Orioles. A lot is on the line for them, so we expect them to play today with all their might and all their heart and hopefully take the dub. All right, so the third game of the night, we'll be going over the Los Angeles Dodgers taking on the New York Mets, 7 o'clock Eastern time game. I believe this is the first game of the season series, first of 7. So no games have been played this season so far. Right now, the odds, Dodgers minus 160 on DraftKings, New York Mets plus 140 on DraftKings. The Dodgers have won their last 4 out of 5. The Mets are on a nice little 3-game winning streak. Abhishek, our third game that we'll be previewing, Dodgers versus Mets. Who you got?
Yeah, like Arun mentioned, minus 160. It's been going between 130 to 160 the whole morning. That is phenomenal value in my opinion because to get the Dodgers at that price is very, very difficult most of the time because they are one of the best teams in baseball. As Arun mentioned, Dodgers 4-1 their last 5. They lost a close one yesterday by 1 run to the Phillies. The Phillies pulled that game out. Urias, I'm sorry if I'm saying his name wrong, but the lefty pitcher for the Dodgers, he's been fantastic for them. He's their young prospect. It was actually his birthday yesterday. I don't know. Usually that's a good thing for a pitcher. For players, they usually perform well during times like that. So that's a little added incentive. It was his birthday yesterday, August 12th. Happy birthday to him. I think he turns 26. So hopefully in the Big Apple, New York Mets, maybe he shines a little brighter today. And in his last 5 road starts, he's won 4 out of 5 of them. And the one game he lost was against the Giants, which is the best team in baseball right now. And he gave up only 1 run in that game. So he has been a road warrior. He's been fantastic. The Dodgers, as Arun mentioned, 4-1 in the last 5 games. Dodgers, they're getting healthy. They lost Mookie Betts. He's on the injured list now, which is a huge blow to them. Justin Turner, I don't know if he'll be back tonight or not. But they have Trey Turner. He came off the COVID list. You still got Chris Taylor. You still got Bellinger is back. It looks like he's back to his MVP form. You still got Pollock, who's got a hot bat. Will Smith. Still got Max Muncy. Yo, man, they got enough. They got more than enough. Now we get to the Mets. As Arun mentioned, they've won 3 straight games. But where did those wins come? They won 3 straight games against Washington. That is very, very, very deceiving because beating Washington means nothing at this moment. If the Washington Nationals started the season all over again with the team they have now, they would be competing with the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Baltimore Orioles for the worst team in baseball if they could restart their season. They're lucky at the trade deadline is when this all started because they're an awful team. They're an awful team. Mets beating them 3 straight. I take no clout, no real context into it. The Mets, they're 13-23 versus lefties. Orias is a lefty. They have struggled big time against left-handed pitching. And then we get into Miguel, who is the pitcher for the Mets today, the rookie. He start off the season for them, the rookie, phenomenal. But in his last 2 starts, he's lost both of them. One of them against Miami, and Miami's just awful. And he's lost both starts, and he's given up 5 runs. 5 runs. He gave up 5 runs against Miami, and then he gave up 4 runs against the Phillies. So he's struggling now. He's hit a rough patch, just like Watkins from the Orioles. Maybe because earlier on, nobody knew who he was. No one ever saw him pitch in the big leagues. He pitched well. Then finally, teams got some film on him, and now they know what to do when he's pitching. And you're going up against the Dodgers. This is going to be the hardest matchup for him in his young career. And right now, minus 150, minus 160, as Arun mentioned, that is tremendous value on the Dodgers as of right now.
All right, so for his third game, we're really liking the Dodgers against the Mets. Hopefully they could get the dub today, but make sure you tune into our Instagram page for the final picks. Just had to throw that in there, you know. All right, so for the fourth game, last game of the night that we'll be previewing, it is the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Minnesota Twins. First game of the season series, first game of the 6 games that they will play. Right now, the line has moved in favor of Tampa Bay. It opened up at minus 135, now sitting at minus 165. The Twins plus 145 now on DraftKings. Our last game of the night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time game, Rays taking on the Twins. Abhishek, who you got?
Oh, man, these Rays, I don't know how they do it. They got $60 million payroll, which is almost nothing. They just find ways to win. They don't got big names really on pitching staff. They just find guys and they deliver. These dudes are 6-1 in the last 7 games. This stat blew my mind when I saw it. They scored 8+ runs in 6 straight games. 6 straight games, 8+ runs. That is insane. They're finding a way to do it, and they're scoring at a high clip. I'm riding that hot hand. Simple as that. I am not going to go into like metrics or anything crazy here. The Rays are better. They're pitching today. Shane McCallahan, their young pitcher, he's been phenomenal for them this season. Michael Pineda for the veteran for the Minnesota Twins. He's lost his last 2 starts. He's been decent for them the whole season. Minnesota, they've played better recently. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games, which is okay. The Twins are 13-26 versus lefties. So that's another stat for you right there where they struggle against left-handed pitching. The Rays, man, I just think they're going to outscore them. They're hot. 6 straight games of 8+ runs. Who says they can't make it 7? Michael Pineda is no superstar pitcher. He used to be really good. He's now towards the end of his career. He's still solid, nothing special. Tampa Bay minus 160, minus 150 some places. This is just like the Dodgers, but this game even more. Tampa Bay, 5-game lead in the division. They're just going to keep separating. I don't know how they do it. Their analytics team, their scouting, their drafting, everything, they are just ahead of the curve. They find ways. They have no money, and they still make it work because they are just smarter than the rest of the league right now. Ride the Rays.
All right, so we're riding the Rays for tonight against the Minnesota Twins. That pretty much wraps it up for today's episode. We went over 4 games. Just make sure you tune into our Instagram page for the final say. Sometimes we like to spice up with a parlay or two, so just stay tuned for that. And with that being said, that wraps it up for today's episode, Friday the 13th. Hope you guys have a safe Friday and a safe weekend. Catch you guys in the next episode. Peace out and happy gambling.